Hey there, welcome back. We are at step number 3 of the 10 must haves to be a successful nonprofit founding leader. My name is Tiffany Taylor Hicks, and I am going to be your training consultant and guide today. We are talking about our next subject, which is operational budget. So, this is so important. If you guys haven't had a chance, this is step number 3 in a 10-step series, and we are talking about the top 10 must-haves in order for you to be the very best and a successful nonprofit founding leader. So I am super excited to be back with you guys again. If you haven't had a chance to check out the previous videos, you really should go check them out. Step number 2, we talked about mission, vision, and core values. And then in step number 1, we talked about mindset, which was super important. So if you haven't had a chance, please go check out those videos. We'll be really glad to have you learn a little bit more about us as a company, but also know a little bit more about what it is that we're trying to teach in this series. So that's super important. So without further ado, let's talk about today's subject, which is operational budgets. This is so important. So let me give you a leading story. I like to think about it in mindset. I talk with you guys a whole lot about understanding that, yes, you're a nonprofit, but you are a business leader. You are an entrepreneur, and everything that you do must have a business acumen attached to it. So how do I attach operational budgets to nonprofit organizations so that you guys can really understand how it puts you in the business leadership vein? Well, think about it like this. If you have a for-profit and you go to the bank and you tell them that you want them to give you $10,000, and they ask you, well, what are you going to use that $10,000 for? And you don't know. If you don't know what you're going to use the money that you're asking the investor for, then guess what? They're not going to give you the money. That's what an operational budget is. So your operational budget is understanding exactly what you will use the money for. So when you're going to go out and ask for donations, when you're going to go out and ask for sponsorship, when you are going to ask for grant funding, that is what your operational budget is for. It is basically letting you know and letting the funders know exactly what you will be doing with the money. So let's talk a little bit more about operational budget. So I like to start with definitions, and I have some notes here, so you guys will see me referring to my notes occasionally. I'm getting used to this whole doing videos and giving you guys exactly what you need, but it doesn't. So it can flow. I still have to take notes. So what I wanted to tell you guys about operational budgets, as far as a formal definition, is your operational budget is an annual budget that includes your cost of doing business. It has your overhead expenses, cost accounts. It has anything that you would pay for, and it as far as like expenses, but it also has your forecasted income. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I did this video now in the series is because I wanted to do things in an orderly fashion. So you have to have the right mindset, of course, first. And then the next thing is that you have to know what you're doing. What's your purpose? What's your vision? What's your long goal? What are your values that your organization stands for? And then the next thing is, how do you paint that as a financial picture? So what is the financial picture of your organization? And that is exactly what your operational budget is. So it's important for you guys to know that, because we are quickly coming up on 2018, and you must know what your operational budget is for next year. Honestly, you need to be done with constructing your operational budget by the end of October of 2017, which is the reason why it's so important, and that's why I chose to do that as step 3. So let's venture a little bit more, and let's talk a little bit more about operational budgets and what you need and what you should do. So the very first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what is included in that budget. So I have a list here that I'm going to read to you just so you can get a good idea. Let's start with cost of doing business. That means everything that you have to pay for out of pocket or anything that you need to spend money on as it relates to doing your running the operation of the organization, running the programs, running the services, provide doing your events. All of those things matter. So it needs to be large, but it also needs to go granular. So what does that mean? That means that you want to sit down and write a comprehensive budget that includes everything. I mean, all the way to the amount of gas that it costs for you guys to travel to your board meetings, or how much gas is it for you to travel to an event. Did you buy cups? Did you buy plates? What did you do? What were the costs associated with everything that you did in the organization? And you want to know what that adds up to as a big ticket item for the whole year. And then you want to reverse logistic that to how much was it for a month? How much is it for a week? How much is it for each individual participant in your program? So that's going from large to granular. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about exactly what is in the operational budget. And so, because I like for this to be interactive, if you guys want to get a copy of a couple of the operational budgets or samples that I have, you are welcome to email me at tiffany@velvetropeexperience.com, and I will be more than happy to send you a sample budget. So going forward, let's talk about what should be on this budget. So one of the things that should be on the budget for you to consider is going to be office salaries, advertising and marketing, stationery, office supplies, postage, if you have professional services. So, guess what? That's a good time for you to say, I need an accountant, or I need someone that can assist us with bookkeeping. That is a professional service. So that would also go in your operational budget. If you need to pay someone like me to write your content, or to help you with coaching, or to help you with leadership training, those are professional services, and those can go in your operational budget. Also, any outside services. So if you have to go out and partner with someone to bring a service in, or if you have to go out and get a company to come in and do something very specific. So let's say you have to cater and it's not being sponsored, but you have to pay a caterer. That's part of your operational budget. Also, if you have a company car, so let's say you run a nonprofit that transports people, then how much do you have to pay for the vehicle? What do you have to pay for the insurance for the vehicle? Understanding all of that. If you guys are utilizing a CRM, so you've gone out and you have purchased a CRM, or you've purchased QuickBooks, or you have purchased Trello, or you've gone out and you've purchased Adobe, or any software that you have to use to operate or run your nonprofit organization. Let's say you go out and you purchase MailChimp for the year, or you purchase Constant Contact for the year. That is a part of your operating budget, and you want to make sure that's there. Another item that should be in your budget is travel and entertainment. So if you have to travel somewhere for your organization, or let's say that you, part of one of your programs is you take the kids out to different events, or you take them to the museum, that's part of travel. If you travel to another city, if you go to New Orleans and if you have to present there, that's also part of your operating expense. Next is going to be your rent or your mortgage for wherever you are housing your program, or maintenance, if you have to pay for maintenance, if you have to pay a light bill, whatever, if you have to pay a phone bill, if you have cell phones that you offer through your organization. Also, another thing is depreciation. I don't understand depreciation. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I do, but that is the time when you want to get a professional. Go out and get an accountant that will sit with you and help you refine your budget. So, why is budgeting important? And just understand, don't be afraid of your budget. What you want to do is you want to write down everything. I don't care if you are operating your nonprofit right now out of your car. Great. How much do you have to spend in gas to drive around to give services to people? How much do you pay for your insurance for your car? How much do you pay for your car note? Can you use all of that? No, you can't, but you can definitely use a portion of that in your operational budget. when you talk about everything that you purchase, so if you give away backpacks, well, how much are you spending right now on those backpacks? What are you spending on the school supplies? What does that look like? And put that in your budget. Because remember, the goal is not for you to foot all of this out of your pocket. The goal is for you to know what you need to operate so that you can approach others to help get funding so that you can stop operating your business out of your pocket. So that's super important. When we talk about your operational budget, you really literally want to put everything in there. I mean, all the way down to coffee. So if you offer coffee at your organization for your meetings, you want to include that in cost of food or in cost of expenses because that's important. So what I like to tell people is think about your operational budget as if it was a day in the life of. Take yourself from the beginning of that operational day all the way through to the end, and what did you have to pay for? What costs were associated with that day, and write those things down. It is an estimate. You don't have to be perfect. So just know, write down an estimate of what your light bill might be. Or if you have an actual light bill, write down an estimate of what you believe it will cost for you to feed 10 people. And know that if you're not sure, go research it. Go look up and find out how much do you think it would cost for a month for you to actually pay for postage, right? Or go to the post office and say, if I send off 30 letters a month and they weigh this amount, how much would that cost? So just know that it doesn't have to be perfect. It does have to be an estimate. And you want to make sure that it is a realistic estimate. So don't overinflate your numbers, but also don't underinflate. Don't deflate the numbers, I guess is what I'm saying. You want them to be conservative and you want them to be realistic. So write your estimates for everything. Then what you want to do is after you've done, and when I say everything, I'm sorry, let me backtrack for a second. You want to write the cost for operating your organization, but also the cost for operating your programs. That is so important and that is separate. So running the organization is what you need to do to acquire board members, acquire staff, acquire donors, acquire sponsors. What do you need to do to functionally operate your organization? But then there is your program, which is separate. The programming is very specific to what you offer the community. What is it that you're offering? What program and service are you offering to the community? And how much does it cost to operate that very specifically? So you want to make sure that you are taking those two things into account. The organization itself to operate and then the program itself to operate. So the next thing that I wanted to tell you guys is going to be that about expert help. So you're going to do an estimate of all of these things, the cost to do business. And then what you want to do is you want to take that estimate and then go sit down with a professional, with an accountant who can help you forecast income, because that's going to be an estimate as well. But you need to sit and forecast based on what you've put together. What do you need to raise? What do you need to forecast for a year? What do you need to forecast for 2 years? What do you need to forecast for 3 years? And an accountant can help you with that because they can tell you what the percentage or the increase should be generally. Because remember, accountants are used to dealing with numbers and they can help you on the journey a whole lot better. So I wanted to just kind of sum that up. So let me do a quick recap for you guys and just talk to you or tell you a little bit more about what it is that you want to have and what not to be afraid of. So number one, you want to have an operational budget and you need to go ahead and start working on that right now because by October 31st, you really want to have your at least a draft of your operational budget for 2018. Okay, so you want to have that ready. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you are outlining everything. Make everything from the beginning to the end of what it costs to operate your business. So that is going to look like rent. That's going to look like food. That's going to be utilities. That's going to be mailing things. That's going to be whatever your operating systems are. It's going to be everything. So I want you to think about every little thing that you use for your organization. And then I need you to attach a dollar amount to that and put that in your spreadsheet. then the next thing that you're going to do is that you have to sit down and estimate how much once you know what everything costs, now you know bottom line what you need to raise in order to be functional, in order to operate. Does that make sense? That's why it's an operational budget. So you now, once you know what you need, you know what you have to go out there and fundraise for. Now, you also want to have some surplus because keep in mind, you want to have a goal and a stretch target. So let's say you add everything up and you determine that you need $45,000 a year to operate your organization. Well, you want to make sure you raise a little bit more than that because just in case, you never know what's going to come up. So you have to budget that in. So say to yourself, okay, 45,000 is what I need, but we're going to shoot for 60,000 because that gives us $15,000 worth of cushion so that if anything comes up that we need to address immediately, if we have to scale up quickly, let's say if we get a sudden surge of participants, now you can accommodate for that. So and then you want to take all of that with you and you want to take it to an accountant so that the accountant can help you with putting in the cushion that you need. So again, I know I said don't overinflate, but here's why. You don't want to say that your light bill is going to be $100 when you've actually literally paid it and you know it was only 50. But does it make sense for you to say to yourself, it's 50 during the winter, but it's 100 during the summer. So I'm going to budget for that full 100. That makes logical sense. What you don't want to do is say it's 50 for the summer, 100, I'm sorry, 50 for the winter, 100 for the summer, but I'm going to put 150 or $200 because I want to give myself room. You don't want to overinflate in that way. But you do want to understand that once you write down the budget and you see what it is, you want to make accommodations for if anything else should come up so that you can be self-sufficient and so that you can make sure that you're always able to support your programs and support the community. So that's what we have today for operational budget. And I really hope that that information was helpful for you guys. So just keep in mind that if you need more assistance, you guys are welcome to do one-on-one coaching or one-on-one consultation with me. My name is Tiffany Taylor Hicks, and I am the owner of Velvet Rope Experience, and we are a training solution firm. We are here to help nonprofit organizations as well as for-profit organizations because you all are entrepreneurs, and we are definitely here to help you with your entrepreneurial journey. Our expertise is helping people with getting organized. It's really with helping people change their mindset to understand exactly what it is that they need to have the best experiences possible. So, again, my name is Tiffany Taylor Hicks, and I am going to give you guys a little information here. If you are interested in contacting us, here is our information. Tiffany Taylor Hicks, and I am the owner of Velvet Rope Experience. My email address is tiffany@velvetropeexperience.com. My mobile number is 713-702-8938, or my office mobile is 713-489-9608. And check out our website. Go to www.velvetropeexperience.com, and we are on pretty much all social platforms: Facebook, Google Plus, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, as well as YouTube. So I am super excited that I had the opportunity to talk with you today. And I am going to end this like I end every one of my videos by telling you guys that it is all about the experience. Have a good one.